2022 is probably like 13 grand.
Have you ever seen a Tudor Big Block?
So the best watch shops in London had a Marconi Rolex.
Right.
Doing a part exchange, he's going to take the Starbucks.
The Belstaff's on.
We put it online yesterday and we literally sold it within one day.
Christmas event with Aston Martin. I've just been talking to a lady and she says, I've never had alcohol for 12 years and I've had 2 mulled wines. So I've managed to sell her a watch. The old green one is the Hulk. I'm a Cartier fan. It's probably the best dial that Rolex have ever made. And if anybody doesn't know what to buy me for Christmas, Aston.
Monday morning, good morning from Watch Trader & Co. And for anybody that watched last night, the Belstaff was bought from the sale room. The Belstaff's on, it's been modelled. Okayed with Vicky, she says we're all right to have another member of the family.
Vicky, is that true? Is that true?
It is.
It's been okayed, officially.
It has been okayed, officially okayed.
This is what's rare about it. It's a Panther 1966.
As in that was made in 1966?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's styled. So this is from the Manolotti era.
Right.
So this was when they were made in Italy. Obviously, Belstaff is a British company that was manufactured in Italy. Have a look. Every individual Belstaff has a number on. You know how the modern Stone Island clothing and the modern Moncler, you've got a barcode, so you can scan it with a phone and they'll tell you whether it's real. There's no
So it's
two
almost
doubts about
like
it.
papers for the jacket that's stitched into it.
Box and papers.
How old is that jacket?
I think this jacket will be about 20 years old. The good thing about it is I've got jackets that I've had for 10 years, 15 years old, and because I haven't worn them enough, they're like rigid, they're like brand new. This one's just right, just where you want it to be. There's our little fashion morning over. We'll get a little wrist check.
I'm good. Okay,
Because
wrist check.
obviously putting the vintage Belstaff on, I've gone for a vintage looking, and this is exactly the same. This is a modern Panerai that's been designed to look old. Plexi crystal as opposed to sapphire, and obviously a vintage looking watch strap.
This is a Luminor, right?
This is a Luminor, so it's made to look vintage, and it's probably only about 5 years old.
Left-hand drive as well, if you're looking
2017,
at it.
and as John said, it's left-hand drive. So I'm fortunately enough I can drive a stick shift for the Americans, and I'm fully qualified to drive a left-hand drive.
Perfect.
Remember, my camper van is a left-hand drive. This is Duncan, who I met yesterday, who said to me, will you have a quick look at my watch? I love one of the things that he's done. He's put a modern rubber strap on, and I would normally not go for it, but it looks great. It's a Rolex cased. I'm going to pop the back open today. I'm going to have a look to see whether the movement's Rolex, whether the dial's original, and then it'll be a triple sign, so case, dial, movement. I think it will be all Rolex. I think it's going to be from early 40s. And a little bit of a history lesson. There was a guy called Marconi who developed the radio wave, the modern radio, as in radio that you listen to.
Okay, right.
So not portable radio, not CB radio, but radio waves. So in the early 20s, Hans Wilsdorf, who was the founder of Rolex, cottoned on to this guy and thought he was going to be a mover and a shaker. Probably an Elon Musk or a Jeff Bezos of the time. And he thought, right, I'm going to patent the name Marconi along with my Rolex brand. And he decided to sort of a premium range. So let's liken it to a car. It's the Lexus of the Toyota.
Ah, right.
So it's the highest echelon at that time. Believe it or not, these watches were marketed in the finest watch shops, the finest jewellery stores. So the best watch shops in London had a Marconi Rolex.
Right.
I don't know what the figures are and how many they sold, but they were just a little bit different. One of the things that smacks with this one is the dial, the way that it's cut away, the way that it has a sub-second. You know, watches of the time were just time only. A lot of Marconi watches had a second hand at 6 o'clock. I would say that this is totally original.
This is a stainless steel watch.
Stainless steel watch. I think the winder has probably been replaced at some point.
Is it an automatic watch,
understandable?
or is it a
No,
manual wind?
it's manual wind.
Right.
So we did this last week, and that
Sounds
winds. If you can hear that watch winding, if there's no friction there, if it's just loose, it needs a dressing, it needs a service.
So Hendo, you know what I think Hans Wilsdorf was smart, right? Because he was almost doing influencer marketing 100 years before it started.
Yeah,
you know, because didn't he do, what was the swimmer called? The original one, was it Mercedes somebody, I think she was called, who swam across the English Channel with the Oyster Rolex on.
Yeah.
So he's basically thinking, right, who's the movers and shakers of the time?
I suppose it's like product placement. It's like you designing something, giving it to Kanye West.
Well, it's like Omega getting James Bond to wear their watch.
Exactly.
100 years previous.
So we've got a little bit of probably early product placement. I've just put it on my wrist because you know how I love vintage watches. It's a great size, and believe it or not, the rubber strap gives it a little bit of a funky twist.
Harry,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. It was Mariah Carey, Mercedes Carey,
Right.
who advertised the first waterproof Rolex watch.
Right. Well, I think it would have been even better if it was Mariah Carey advertising.
John, you've pulled it out the bag again. Do you know what it is, right? John was with us yesterday, but maybe in body and not in mind, because we had a little bit of a training session and you'd hear everybody laughing. Because not like John, he had a little bit of a late night and came in a little bit like a zombie. So, but he's in the game today. He's just pulled a fun fact out from wherever. But yeah, great morning. Good to see you.
And just because people are going to ask, right, how much do you think that watch is worth?
I'm going to say 2,500 quid.
Mm-hmm. But you can't really find many of them online, can you?
It's a very, very rare watch again. A lot of them have probably had damage to the dial and maybe had Rolex put back on the dial, but not Marconi, because it's now that people are realising influences and people are realising what's special. Mm-hmm. You know how I always say, anything that's rare, anything unusual becomes valuable. This watch is only going in one direction, and it's up in value.
So I'm going to test the knowledge here. How much do you think that would have retailed for at the time? I mean, we're guessing, but
probably about £40.
£40. But in 1940. So that was a good few weeks' wages.
Actually, probably not. No, probably not even that much. Probably something mad like £8-9.
But how much money would an average person earn per month?
Don't know. That's for John to Google. Sorry, no, that's for John to work out cost of living. I said this on another YouTube. We likened the price of a watch to the price of a brand new Ford Capri.
Right.
So it probably, in relation to a Timex watch or something like a vintage watch, which would have been rotary or like a standard brand, this was probably 3 or 4 times more.
I misremembered. Mercedes Carey was actually called, that was a maiden name, or that was a married name. She was called Mercedes Gleitz, and she was a professional swimmer at the time, and she advertised, sorry, I'm reading as I go here.
Was she German or something? Gleitz?
She wasn't. She was from Brighton, but her dad was German, and her family was, but she was used to market Rolex's new waterproof case, which at the time was called the Oyster, which is pretty much what developed into what we have today.
Just means waterproof, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
But at the time, that was brand new.
She was a famous swimmer, and she established enduring records for swimming, including a record of 46 hours non-stop swimming in 1932. So there you go.
There you go. That's the Cartier Roadster that we bought in not too long ago, Stu. Is that what's happening with that?
It is, so as you can see, we've had it refurbed. The watch is now looking spanking. It's really nice, actually. It's a really nice little watch and it's a great price point. So yeah, we've had it refurbed and we put it online yesterday and we literally sold it within one day. When the customer brought it in, it wasn't in the best of shapes, but we had it refurbed, and we did mention if you sold it on consignment, you have an uplift, and normally we take consignments for up to 30 days, but something like this, it's you know, it's sold fast, it's sold within a day.
And I'm sure somebody will have a nice Christmas with that watch on.
Somebody's got a nice little bargain, it's a lovely little gift for somebody, and yeah, great result all round on this one.
So Harry, here we are at a Christmas event with Aston Martin Newcastle. They've asked us down to show a few wristwatches, and I thought we'd have a little wander. I'm going to make my way over to the Christmas tree, and I'd like to take the opportunity, well, if you can hear me, I'll take the opportunity to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas in front of the Christmas tree. And if anybody doesn't know what to buy me for Christmas, Aston. I have been known to sell people the odd vintage watch, because I'm a little bit older than the younger one here. No, a wee snip of a lass.
I like the one with the black face.
This is nice. I actually do like the purple.
Yeah.
The purple's a bit blingy, but I do like it.
I prefer the little diamonds and the numbers. I like the diamond bezel.
We've had one lady come over and just sort of gravitated. Her eyes went from there straight onto that.
Very hard to come by at the minute.
Yeah, it's just supply and demand, and you can't get them. So obviously they sell at a premium. But I'm fancying a mulled wine myself.
Well, it's very nice.
This is called a Wimbledon dial, or a Federer. This is probably, in modern Rolex terms, it's probably the best dial that Rolex have ever made. Obviously, it's just something, you've got great taste, but it's very, it's very, very classy. And I'll give you something to put your watch. There you go. There you go. And then, so yours is 31 mil. These are 36. My other half's just gone from mid-size to full size, and now she keeps threatening to pinch my watches.
The question is, how much is it?
The diamond one is 11.5, and the Wimbledon dial is 9,450. The main difference in the price is the diamonds. The Wimbledon's 2022 unworn. The diamond one is 2021, and it's pre-owned. But condition-wise, it's...
Is any of these Submariner date?
Submariner, we've got a non-date there.
What's this blue-black one at the front?
Blue-black one is a Batman. So that is a oyster bracelet, 2020, so pre-owned. They do that on oyster bracelet, and then they do it on the Jubilee. The old green one is the Hulk, and this one with the black dial is the Kermit.
Well, obviously, it's got the green outside. So, and do you do trade-ins?
We do. We take part exchanges. We have just done a deal on a horse. Really, took a horse in part exchange. He's not here at the moment. Our horse trader isn't here at the moment.
What kind of horse?
It was a pony for one of a friend's children. So the guy had said to me, I'm a horse dealer. Is there any way I can put something into you? And we said, yes, as long as it's for like a 10-year-old. So he delivered it. There you go. The one in the middle with the blue and red bezel is the same. That's a GMT, same as this, but that gets nicknamed a Pepsi with that bezel. It's been discontinued in all black bezel, but it's something we can get. We've got people that particularly like the colours. The Pepsi one, for me, you've got to really like it because it sells for more money. So if you want a specific pays your money, takes your choice type of thing.
This dial, you've chose probably one of the most popular dials and one of the most expensive compared to like a silver or a blue, something like that. So something like that is around 12. This is a pre-owned 21. 2022 is probably like 13 grand. With a smooth bezel.
You haven't got anything you can write details on about what it is?
Yeah, everything's on our website as well. You can just take a look on watchtrader.co.uk.
That's the one with this, that's the smooth edge on it.
So you can get this dial with this one.
Which one is it? Oh, this one here. Give me 1 second. What year? How old?
34 years, because I got it on my birthday.
Is it 34? Yeah, just give me 1 second. It's actually 34-year-old, that little Cartier, but great condition for a 34-year-old watch, isn't it?
Sorry, I've been a little bit distracted there. We'll just talk over the pipe music. We've paid extra for this, you know. I've just been talking to a lady and she says, I've never had alcohol for 12 years and I've had 2 mulled wines. So I've managed to sell her a watch. I like the fact that everybody's having a drink.
So I have had that 34 years.
It's aged well.
It's like brand new.
And because I don't wear it.
Yep.
My ex-boss here saying, no, don't sell it, but it's just a shame. And I'd maybe get something that I would wear, because I do like a bulky watch.
So you want to go a little bit bigger?
Well, I
normally you
pretentious, but I do have a Rolex, and I like to own a Rolex.
Right, okay. In Rolex.
Have another watch?
No, I'll buy that. Have you got the box and papers?
I've got the receipt. I haven't got the little Cartier pamphlet.
Yeah.
But I've got the box in the car.
Right, that's
which
fine.
Which is falling to bits. The exterior of the box is perfect, but the inside, you know, the little stand.
Just my standard blurb. To be perfectly honest, on a watch of this age, it isn't really important. On watches of this age, it is.
Yes.
So if you wanted to sell this to me, a watch of this age, I would normally pay 800-900 quid for, but something in this condition, it's lovely.
I think I might have worn it. I knew that last year.
I was going to say it's telling the right time, so it's obviously had a battery in recently. I would pay £1,100 for this.
Right, well, let us think about it. Obviously, I have no idea what it's like.
We are based in Jesmond, next to Jules B. I get called Hendo. Jack will know that I've offered you 1,100 quid. That offer will stand. That's an offer that's out there. If you want to use it in Part X, I'll look after you. You'll get a good deal on whatever you're going for. So, things to look at. Rolex is great. You've got Cartier is my brand. I'm a Cartier fan. I've got Ballon Bleus in lady size. But what you need to do is come in, because we've got Cartier, Breitling, Omega. Omega have got some really nice Cartier. Yeah. The nail. Come in and see me. Sit down, have a look at some watches. You're under no obligation. The young kids, they're sellers. I like having a chat with people. Now that the music's gone off, I can have a chat with people. So, and feel free to get a couple of more drinks, because obviously that's what we're there for. What was your first name?
It's Ava.
Ava, nice to meet you.
David, can I trouble you?
Hi David,
This was bought for me.
My name, hang on a minute. I'm not David Dickinson. No.
Bought for me 35 years ago by my best ever client when we sold his business. I was a chartered accountant, and I never wear it. I only brought it down, and I would imagine it's probably just worth the weight. I mean, it's 9 carat.
Lovely watch. Yeah, exactly right what you've just said. It is worth what the gold is.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm not selling it.
To be perfectly honest, for me, what you're going to get, even if you don't wear it, a little bit of sentiment. But if it is just going to sit in a drawer, I'll obviously can break it down. I can get you a cost, but I would need scales. So
I've got a Cartier tank, stainless steel one, which I've had 25 years, which I wear most of the time. An IWC
Portuguese, lovely. Yeah. So slightly bigger, lovely watch.
Whereabouts are you in the corner open?
On the corner of Jules B. We're in between the man's and the woman's shop. But very nice to talk to you.
But that is too big for my wrist, like, isn't it?
Yes, It's a big watch.
It is.
So this is the 1-2 reference. So the Deepsea, plain black dial. Doing a part exchange, he's going to take the Starbucks. And this is a watch he bought last year. He has worn it a little bit, but he feels it's a little bit too big for his wrist. He's done a part exchange with the Submariner, the Starbucks, 126610.
And this is literally straight in and out, isn't it? It's like...
It is, yeah. I think we received the watch this morning. So I've done a good deal. What's it like size-wise?
A bit loose.
Okay, we can adjust it there. With this watch, you've got the glide lock system.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to take one link out, then you've got your own flexibility, you can change it yourself. One link should be fine.
So what, do you just size it with the glide lock in the middle so it fits normal, and then you can go either way, right?
Yep.
How does the glide work on this then?
Okay, so you just, so let's check. So you want it a little bit tighter?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe a fair bit tighter. So you just clip it out and slide it down.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because is it different to that? Because I know that comes out on the clasp, like.
Yeah, so this you have the extension, which you
it,
can remove if you like.
Does it pop up from the top though?
It pops up from here.
Yeah, because that's what I usually do it.
That's
when
what you used to.
Got it on my wrist.
Yeah.
And then you can...
So this is for when you're diving, this is for wetsuits to adjust it. Well, so I think most sports watches, Rolexes should actually come with this now. So that's just one link out. It's a nice sporty watch. Definitely wear it.
Yeah.
Most days.
What do you mean?
My boss, he has an old sub blue and like bimetal, and he just goes around in that, and he's worn it for like the past 10 years or so, and he just clatters it in his like just.
You get quite a lot of them when they come in, the older steel and gold subs that have been well worn. Yeah. People just wear them every day.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. It's what before really. So what's the deal here? 5 to swap.
5 to swap.
Always. Do you have your driving license as well?
Yeah.
So I'd said to him, Harry, have you ever seen a Tudor Big Block? And I've stumped him today because he's never seen a Tudor Big Block. 1995, never been polished, been serviced once by Rolex, comes as a full set. The last one of them I had, I bought for 500 quid, and a friend of mine plagued my life for 18 months, and I sold it to him for 700 pounds. I wish I'd paid 700 pounds for that. We're going to market that at around about the £10,000 mark because of its condition, because of its full set.
It's good value for money.
And it is
if you think about what the new towns are doing.
I have a Monte Carlo, which is the coloured one, which I wouldn't sell for all the tea in China because I've become very, very attached to my vintage watches. I am so tempted to keep this, but I just can't keep everything. It's a very, very unusual watch. I haven't had one of these for a long time. The last one that I've recently sold was black dialed, which is nowhere as good as the Panda.
The strap's a bit short. You've got some links. Throw a small wrist. Well, I mean, whenever I get one, I've got to go and buy new links.
Well, if you buy something with us, we always put the links in for you.
Do you? 150 quid each?
Yeah, but we're a little bit more expensive than the ADs to start with, so.
Yeah, well, very good.
Hendo, pleased to meet you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet a watch aficionado.
It's a dangerous thing to get into.
It certainly is.
What's happened to prices on your masters now then? Gen 1. So I've got a Gen 1 like that. Mine is with the grey dial, grey face.
Yeah, so rhodium grey. It's the old rhodium. It's not as rhodium as what the kids call a very, very popular dial. That's around about the £20,000 mark.
What? No way. Why?
It's the last.
That's a gold, old gold.
It's the last of the sports watches to increase in value, and I think it represents really good value for money because the blue Submariners are so much money, the Daytonas in gold are so much money that this is probably the last one to go.
So most of these are modern. Do you have vintage stuff as well?
Yeah, but not here. So
we got a website.
We have Watch Trader & Co. Have a look on. I don't put all of the vintage watches on, so if you want to give the shop a call, I'll get you a card.
Next time I get to Jumsby, I'll
give me a call because I'm not in there all the time. Get an appointment, come have a look at some things. I like talking to people about watches. I do like selling them, but people ask me questions and I like to talk about watches. Whether you buy a watch now, whether you buy a watch in 12 months' time, come and have a look at some vintage things, get a feel for it, because I love just trying and put them on. Okay, nice to talk to you. Bye-bye now.